friends! I can't believe it's been 5 weeks since we started learning about our awesome God's invisible but incredible armor. I'm Miss Stephanie, if you don't remember, and this is Everyday Armor. I hope some of you took last week's challenge and strapped on those good news boots and spread love in your neighborhood. I know some of you have. Alyssa Edwards said, "I've been leaving notes for people like the mail lady and the sanitation workers to make them happy." How awesome, Alyssa! I'm proud of you, and I know God is too. If this is your first time to join us and you're thinking, what is God's armor? Don't worry, you'll learn all about it today. But as always, we're going to start with a little fun before our lesson. Beep, beep, that's right, it's fun bus time. And this week, we're listening and trying to guess city sounds. Are you ready to play? Shh. Here's the first sound. Okay, that was an easy one. It was a dog barking. That was just to get our ears warmed up. This next one is a little harder. Whoa, that was tricky. If you guessed a construction site, you are correct. Let's get to sound number 3. Okay, that was pretty hard. That was actually the doors on our fun bus closing for today. It's a really common sound you'll hear in the city. Every city across the U.S. is different in many ways. They are just as different as all the different kind of people that live in each of them. We've met some pretty cool people so far learning about everyday armor. There was a baker, a skateboarder, and even a coach. We learned how each of them is using God's armor in the real world every day. Thanks to reporter Joe Miller, we get to see his armor in action, and today's no different. Let's check out who she's talking with today.
Hey everyone, it's Joe on the Go, and I'm Joe Miller, coming to you live each and every day as I take to the streets to give you all the deets. Today is going to be so great. We're meeting up with Sam, a real-world lifesaver. Oh, that sound can only mean one thing. Sam's here. Come on. Hey, Sam. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Hey, Joe. It's so great to be on your show. I love Joe on the Go.
Well, now, Sam here is an EMT, which is seriously the coolest. Hey, why don't you tell everyone what exactly it is you do?
So EMT stands for Emergency Medical Technician. My job is basically to be ready at any moment to handle a medical emergency. Like if someone got hurt and called for help, I jump in the ambulance and get there as fast as possible.
Amazing. Okay, so let's talk about this sweet ride that you have. There is so much stuff going on in there. Can you give us a little tour?
Sure. The back of the ambulance is where patients go to be treated while en route to the hospital. They most likely be loaded in on a stretcher, which is when we would figure out how to help them the best way possible. We have tons of important equipment, like heart monitors for EKGs, but also simple things like Band-Aids.
So your job is to come to work and be ready to save lives each and every day. Wow, that actually sounds like a lot of pressure.
It really can be. Each day is so different from the next, and you never really know what to expect. Sometimes it can be really scary.
I bet. So when you're driving up on a call and feeling tons of uncertainty, because you don't know what's about to happen and everything, what keeps you calm and confident during it all?
Well, there is one huge thing that helps. That's the shield of faith.
Oh, I should have known. That's one of the parts of the armor of God.
That's right. The shield of faith helps us trust God's promises and block out any lies or tricks that the enemy tries to send our way. I have so much more confidence when I hold it up.
I bet. Well, tell us more about how our faith can be such a strong shield.
Faith gives us confidence in God even when we can't see what He's doing. It also protects us from our own fears. You see, the enemy wants us to second guess our abilities and doubt who God has created us to be. But with the shield of faith, we can defend ourselves.
So when a super tough emergency comes your way, it might be easy to believe it's too hard for you or that you won't be able to make a difference. But that's when you hold up the shield of faith, right?
You got it. God created me and gave me gifts to help people. But if I lose sight of that and give up, then I've lost the battle.
But that won't happen with the shield of faith. That is seriously so awesome. Sam, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and for giving us the inside scoop. Oh, hey, Maybe when you're done, you could show me how to turn on the siren, like a real pro.
No problem, Joe. I'll meet you up front and show you more of the ambulance.
Oh, awesome! Well, that's it for us today. Join us next time for Joe on the Go. I can't wait to see who we will meet next.
Wow, Sam has a really cool but scary job. Good thing he carries around the shield of faith with him every day. It's a piece of armor I think would come in pretty handy in the times we're facing now. Just like Sam, we don't really know with this virus what we're going to face day to day. More restrictions, wearing face masks to leave the house, when we're going to leave the house. But when we're holding that shield of faith, we can remember all of God's promises, and we can block out anything the enemy sends our way. And we can trust that God is with us in every situation. The hard part is, sometimes it's hard to see or feel that God is working. We don't and won't always see what God is up to. But with the shield of faith, we will feel sure that God is working things together for the good of those who love Him. And I know all of you love Him a lot, and He loves you too. We know how much He loves us by all of the everyday armor He has given us to keep safe from the enemy. Now, we all know we can't see the armor, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. So far, we've learned about the belt of truth, the armor of godliness, the good news boots, and now the shield of faith. But He also gives us the helmet of salvation and the sword of spirit too. When we put on this invisible yet incredible armor, we are able to stand against any evil in this world. Each day, we are going to be tempted to forget about what we know about God. But when we hold up that shield of faith, we'll have the power to trust all that He's promised us and defend ourselves from the enemy's lies. Let's pick up that shield. Are you ready? Pick up the shield of faith. Pick up the shield of faith. Let's sing our song that helps us remember each piece.
Put on the full armor of God, stand strong against the evil one. Put on the full armor of God, the full armor of God. First things first, got the belt of truth. Ayo, ayo. Put on my boots, gotta tell the good news. Ayo, ayo. The armor of God and the shield of faith. Ayo, ayo. Got my sword and my helmet, now it's time to pray. Ayo, ayo. I put on the full armor of God, stand strong against the evil one. I put on the full armor of God, the full armor of God. First things first, you got the belt of truth. Ayo, ayo. Put on my boots, I gotta tell the good news. Ayo, ayo. The armor of God and the shield of faith. Ayo, ayo. Got my sword and my helmet, now it's time to pray. Ayo, ayo. Put on the full armor of God, stand strong against the evil one. Put on the full armor of God, the full armor of God. Put on the full armor of God, stand strong against the evil one. Put on the full armor of God, the full armor of God. Now in faith we can stand against every evil plan. Now it's time to be strong. He has won. Put on the full armor of God, stand strong against the evil one. Put on the full armor of God, the full armor of God. Put on the full armor of God, stand strong against the evil one. Put on the full armor of God, the full armor of God.
Don't you love that song? I bet you sounded great singing too. We need to get armored up every single day. Today's Bible story tells us why it's super important to hold up the shield of faith.
Even though you can't see it, there's a spiritual battle taking place between God and the devil over the hearts of each person on earth. Since the beginning of time, God has been fighting for people to know who He is and how much He loves them. You would think that followers of Jesus would never doubt that Jesus could do anything, but that's actually a part of the battle. Jesus healed many people and showed them many examples of God's power. One evening, Jesus asked his followers to go with him across the lake, so they left the crowds of people they'd been helping and went with Jesus. As they were on the water, the winds grew stronger and the waves started coming up over the sides of the boat, filling it with water. When Jesus was inside the boat, sleeping with his head on a pillow, his followers came to find him. They woke him up and asked Jesus if he even cared about them. They were afraid he was going to let them drown. Jesus got up and gave a command to the wind and the water. He told the storm to be still. Immediately, the wind stopped and the lake became calm. Jesus asked his followers why they had been so afraid and wanted to know why they didn't have any faith. They didn't really say, but they did talk about how the wind and the waves obeyed Jesus that day. Jesus came to earth to show us that we can believe and trust in all of God's promises, like God's promise that he's in control of everything, even the wind and the waves. Or about how he will watch over us and give us everything we need, and he'll forgive us and always love us. The devil doesn't want us to have faith in God, though, so he tries to throw lies and tricks at us to get us to stop believing in what God says. That's why God has given us the shield of faith. When we trust in every word God says to us, we'll be able to block anything the devil tries to send our way. We can hold up the shield of faith.
That story helps us know that it won't always be easy to believe what God says. Sometimes, maybe even now, our lives get out of control and we may doubt that God is with us and will always love us. But when we rely on God's power by holding up the shield of faith, we will be able to stand firm and trust that God always comes through on his promises. So what does it look like for a kid to hold up the shield of faith? Meet Abby. She is a kid just like you. In this picture, you can see she is being bullied. Abby tries really hard to get along with everyone she meets. But earlier this week, some of the girls in Abby's class teased her for inviting others to church. Abby holds up the shield of faith so that she can remember all of God's promises. Like how God says he'll always love, protect, and take care of his children. When Abby is being bullied, she holds up the shield of faith, and it helps her know that no matter what mean things others say about her, she can trust God to take care of her. Isn't that awesome? When we put on God's full armor, the enemy doesn't stand a chance. We've been talking today about having faith in all circumstances, even when we're scared or angry. Having faith that God will do what he says he's going to do, even though sometimes that's hard to see. We are going to sing another song that helps us remember why we don't have to be afraid, even when we're in the middle of a battle.
I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. I raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief. I raise a hallelujah. My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah. Heaven comes to fight for me. I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm. Louder and louder, you're gonna hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive.
I hope you guys raised a hallelujah right there in your houses. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time again. So that means it's time for shout-outs. If you want to be on our next Everyday Armor, just ask your parents to video you doing a 10 to 20 second hello and send it to my email at stephanie@vanazarene.org. Before we leave and pray, I want to send a shout out to my friend Naomi, who watches every week and is asking her mom great questions about the armor and the devil. You go, girl. Naomi, keep asking those questions. I want to keep up with you too. So if you have a question, comment on this video or have your parents text me. Well, before we go, let's pray together. God, thank you so much for all the children listening to me tonight. I pray that they're holding on to that shield of faith every day so they can face those big fears in the world right now. God, I pray that you surround them with your love. Pray that they know and remember to put on each piece of your armor every day so they can face all of the evil. I pray all of these things in your name. Amen. Okay, friends, until next week, we've got a cool surprise so you don't want to miss it. Bye.